This is the ECOVACS GOAT A2500 RTK. It's powered by LiDAR. Again, this is from ECOVACS. This is an AI lawn mowing robot. So we're going to jump into all the details of the unboxing. A few things that I want to share with you just right at the beginning. As far as your cutting height, you can go from 1.2 inches to 3.6 inches, depending on their height. That's electric adjustment. You can do that in the app as well, and it'll move up. It does have a dual blade system, so you're going to get great clean edges. It also is IPX6 waterproof. As far as the slope climbing and the engine, it'll go up to a 27% incline. It does have the AIVI 3D obstacle avoidance, so it'll avoid pets, animals, hoses, different things that are out on the lawn. And it also has intelligent path planning, so it'll go back and forth in the most economical way to save you battery. It will do a 5/8 of an acre in about 13 hours. That includes the charging time. It will do specifically, and I just have my notes here, I want to make sure that I tell you exactly what it will do here. So it will cut about 45 minutes. It will take, in a single charge, it'll be 5,300 square feet on a single charge. It takes about 45 minutes to charge, so it'll go mow, come and charge, go back again if you have more than that square footage. You can also set up zones and different heights in different areas of your lawn depending on what you want to set up. We're going to walk through the app as well. So it looks like we are going to get a little bit of rain tonight, so I will actually post that in the morning. We'll get everything set up, but let's jump into the ECOVACS GOAT A2500 RTK. And so right out of the box, you're going to get a quick start guide, pre-start guide to make sure you get everything set up correctly. Make sure you connect the LiDAR. You're going to have part of a pole, right? This goes with the LiDAR ground stake for that pole, so you can put this outside. Part of the charging station. Here, you'll notice that it comes with a plug here and the connector cord. We'll go through all of that. And then underneath the bottom of everything, you've got your charging ramp. So the robot will come up here, charge itself. This will be plugged in obviously to a power source, also connected to the LiDAR system, which is going to give it kind of the, and put everything here. So this is the robot. I'm actually going to pause and kind of give you a walk around of this. I want to make sure I want to keep all the pieces in case I need to put it back in the box, but I'll take the camera and now I'll walk through everything. Again, I am going to go through the install. This is just a clean unboxing of all of the different parts. So let me kind of give you a walk around of the robot. Here's kind of a first look. Here's a first look. We do have a dual blade disc on the bottom. Obviously, these are your wheels here. Coming around, we have an emergency stop button. There's some things that I have not even taken off yet. Then we've got our model number here. Obviously, don't put your hands under the motor. There is our kind of camera and eyes to the machine itself. You can see right there. We have power button, some other things here, plus, minus. I'm assuming that'll be some gauges on some different heights and some of our cutting heights, different things like that. Obviously our branding right here with ECOVACS on the back. Let me pause here and I'm going to turn it upside down so you can see underneath. So here is the complete underneath look. Here's your dual blades here. Here's your front wheels. You can see that these are turned multiple different ways. And they also have a little bounce to them so they can kind of absorb some of that over rocks, different things. We have a protection here on the side. So we're going to walk through everything here. Again, this is your robot. Here's your stand. All of the other items that we're going to need here. So we're going to pause now, get everything set up, and I will then show you a little bit of demo in the yard itself. I'll walk you through the app. I'll give you some real time constraints. Time. We have about 1/3 of an acre. So we'll see how long it takes to mow that. Snap it back in so you can move it around. There's these little ledges right here that you can see here. And then you just pull that out. You also have 2 cords coming out. One of these cords is going to go to the actual satellite, and then the other is going to go to the power cord. These cords are about 30 feet in length. So once you find a power source and you can plug it into the wall using an AC adapter or something like that, or an extension cord, you'll see here in a few minutes that I'm actually going to show you where I'm putting it, but it just snaps right into place, and the mower will actually drive back to the home base whenever you need it to. Then the satellite portion there is actually going to give a satellite of your lawn, and so as it's driving around the lawn, it'll give the edges, boundaries, different things like that. And this actually has more than just a snap lock. It actually has a thing that you twist. So I'll show you what that looks like when we get that set up. So this next portion is the satellite portion. So there's a stake that goes on the bottom. You can see it's got the 3 prongs, and you'll actually just screw one pole into that. There is a second pole that goes on top. The nice thing is you just stand on this and push it down into the ground. So the second pole just kind of snaps right into place like a tent pole or something like that. There's a little pin that you can push and pop in. So once you get it there, it's a little tiny slit. You want to make sure it's careful. And then on the top, this is where you're actually putting the RTK satellite, and there is a hole where you can drill these so it all just connects together. And so there's a little tiny bag. You'll see I'll grab it right here out of the box. That little screw goes in the top right there to make sure that if this falls over or if it's windy, this doesn't necessarily fall off. You're also going to get some pegs in this bag right here where you can actually screw in the home base, and then there are clips that you can actually clip the wire, which is going to connect to the home base. And you'll see right here, I'm going to put it all along the wire. The clips hold the wire in place so it doesn't move. So whatever you're going to do there, you're going to have both a firmware and a software update. So depending on the speed of your internet or whatever, it may take 3 to 5 minutes. It basically downloads through your phone. You connect the app, and then the robot, or the goat, which we're going to call it here, the goat will update and everything like that. So we've got the charging station, everything, get ready to put together, but I'm going to update the firmware and the software and the app, everything first, and then we'll jump into basically the charging station, what that looks like. Then as we get going, I'll put in the app. So appreciate your patience. Okay, so we've got everything plugged in. You can see that it's charging here. I've got the power cord in the back. That blue light shows that it's actually charging. We also have it connected to the satellite. That is an LCD screen, so it is actually showing me that it's charging here, and it's in the home base. So right up at the top right here where I'm going to point my hands, you can see there's little tiny silver pieces or metal pieces that come out, and those actually connect to the home base or the charging station. Is apart. We're going back and forth, and it has a nice little kind of tank wheelbase here, so it'll measure out, and it actually is going to go over the other line, so we get a little bit of overlap, so you don't have any of those little kind of mohawk pieces that get missed. And it's going to come all the way to basically the edge here. So again, we've got these beautiful lines going back and forth. You can see this is mode right here, and then this is unmode right here. We also have it on edge mode, which I'll show you when we do the app. You can turn on. Once it's done, it'll actually go all the way around the edge and grab all the edges. And you'll see when it comes up here, it's going to go as far as it can right up here to the edge. Again, I'm going to stand out of the way so it doesn't sense me and back up. It's not super hard edge for us. Is these little stone pavers that we put in place. It goes all the way to the end, turns around, you can see right there. So it's going to get all the way to the edge, which is nice. So it'll even do a little bit of your edging for you. I do tend to, after it's done, go around and just clean it up just a little bit as far as the edging goes. For the longer stuff, or the stuff that's on the outside of the grass, you can see right here, we've got stuff that's on the outside, and then obviously a huge forest of weeds over here that we need to take care of after winter. But love the lines, super clean, fantastic. So now that the whole area is mowed, what it does is it takes the last maybe 4 or 5%, just depending on your lawn, and it goes around the entire edge, and this true edge, right? So it's got this little plastic, and you can see right there, this side, it's going to go right up against all of the sides, and then it'll just do this edge around. So again, once it's done with this all main area, so it's finished here, it's going to go around and do the edges. It takes a little bit longer just because it's kind of rereading the boundaries again. And this is an option that you can turn on or off in the mowing settings, whether you want it to do true edge or not. Obviously, I recommend cleaning up the dog poo before you do this. The nice thing is this is waterproof, so this is something that I'll spray down after we're done and clean it off, everything like that. But it's going to go around, get this entire edge here all the way around. It'll go up in here by the gate, come back down, and then once it's done, it'll basically go back to the charging station, which is set up right here. This is not the final spot. This is where we've done a lot of the demos here. You can see on the other side we have a ton of grass over here, and then we have grass in the front. So we still haven't figured out where we're going to put it to make it work best for us. We have a couple gates and we have a dog, so in order for it to do the whole lawn, we need to have that mapped out so it can just do it in one fell swoop. But this true edge is really, really nice because it goes back through and edges everything. So one of the things that I really like about this is that it can handle hills. You can see we have this incline up to this little island here. So the mower, depending on the day, will go up this way and then back down. So you can also see that it spins and it'll go up the hill either way on the incline. Works around it, all the way around, all the bushes, different things like that. You can see also it's tilted. Let me just show you a better view of the tilt so you can see that. So there's probably a better view of the slant. So up and down. And then again, one of the beautiful things about this is when it gets to a certain percentage in the battery, it is going to go back to the charging station, come back out, finish the job. So it'll get up to 85% and then turn back around. You can see this is just going back and forth on this hill. So you can set it to go this way or this way. I think going this way is a little bit more efficient just based on the way that our yard is based, but you can see that tilt right there as I hold the camera pretty straight right there. The lines, you can see the tilt that we're at. The really great thing about this mower is it has an animal or obstruction detection, so you'll see that it comes right up next to me. I'm standing here, and then it just goes back and on the same path. So it's really nice if you have anything like footballs or basketballs or a hole or anything, and there's a measurement on that. It's got to be a certain height, but like if a dog runs across it or anything like that, it'll obviously just turn around and go the other way. I was standing there. Really, really nice. It's just auto AI detected, so it just has that sensor, hits it, turns around, kind of like bat sets, stuff like that. So really appreciate that safety for little kids and animals, stuff like that. And charge. And basically go back out again and mow depending on your battery. So let's jump into the app. I'm going to show you some of those settings, different things like that. So when I was talking earlier about the charge, you can see those two metal pieces right here and right here. Those are actually going to connect right into the charging station. So, and again, I have not put the base in the ground. There's some pegs that you can kind of nail into the ground and screw this in so the station stays in its home spot. But this will basically just go right into the station and redo the charging. So as far as the mapping takes a little bit. If you've ever used any sort of robot, it has to go kind of around the yard and kind of see where all the corners and the edges are, stuff like that. It took me about 20 minutes to get everything set up. So to connect, once you connect the RTK, which is the satellite, and the robot, you're going to have to update both of them. Not a huge time thing. I think everything comes and you have to update it. But I did want to show you the app and spend a little bit of time on the app and what you can do with the app, different things like that. So let's jump in there now. It's funny because you can hear my neighbor mowing his lawn. Nice, beautiful Saturday morning. Need to get some of these weeds out of the way. So some final thoughts about the ECOVACS A2500 GOAT. Setup is really easy. I think the thing that took the longest time, if you're talking about time, was just the updates for the satellite stand and the actual robot itself. So when it comes in, you'll just want to make sure that you have time to set that up. As far as the mowing itself, it was amazing. I was basically able to duplicate myself and have the lawnmower mow. I was able to go around an edge. I was able to weed. I was able to do some other things. The thing that I really liked about it is when I got to a certain percent. So when I got to 15% on the mower, it came back to the station think I showed this earlier. I had to open the gate, but it came back to the station, set itself up to charge. It's now currently charging. When it gets to 85%, it'll go back out and finish that job. This small portion that I showed you earlier in the video took about 20 to 25% of the battery. So I think on a full charge, it would have done that large area in the front. I like that you can set up different zones. I like that you can do a schedule. And so Saturday morning at 8 o'clock, I can just have it go. I can have it go at Tuesday night. I could have it go whenever, and it'll just launch straight from the base station and go out and mow. And then when it's done, it just goes back to the station. So the other thing I would think about too, depending on, you know, what your house setup is and how everything is where you're going to put the basically charging station and the satellite, and your cables and everything plugged in. So when we originally showed you the setup here, we just kind of placed it on this side of our house. This probably won't be the long-term place. We're still trying to figure out what that's going to look like. We want to have it near a power source, but also so the satellite will connect to everything. As far as the mowing, it will give you, and you can see it back here, it'll basically give you double lines. You can change everything in the app. You can change when it mows, how it mows, the heights. I showed you all of that. So overall, for me personally, this is an absolutely fantastic investment, and it will save you time, right? So you can basically double yourself every time you're mowing your lawn, or just set it out. You also have the manual mode where you can go and mow little patches if they need to be remowed, or maybe it's not a small enough area that you're like, oh, you know what, I'm just going to go out and just use a hand mower or whatever. But absolutely fantastic tool. It comes with automatic upgrades, all of the things that you saw in the box. You can check all of the things in a listing when you go to shop. Again, this is the ECOVACS A2500 GOAT.